Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. I am Sir Stephen Tabumo, but you can call me Sir Steve or Sir Stiff, and I will be your virtual English teacher for today and for the whole school year 2020-2021. So weekly, we will have this virtual lesson about your English subject. So what are you still waiting for? Are you ready to learn now?
Aye, Captain!
I can't hear you.
Aye, Captain!
If that is the case, then let us start now.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Let us begin our first lesson. For today's lesson, our topic is about analogy. Analogy. My dear grade 7 students, did you have this topic before in your elementary days?
Aye, Captain!
I hope so. So that you will have a strong prior knowledge that can help you easily grasp today's lesson. So let us continue now. The MELC in today's lesson is supply other words or expressions that complete an analogy. So our lesson for today shall revolve around the most essential learning competency, which is supply other words or expressions. How are you going to supply it? Well, you can do that if you will understand an analogy. Okay? So, let us begin our lesson with a pre-activity. You have to answer these questions in your module, but let me just answer the first one for you so that you will have an idea as to how you do it. What do I know? And circle the letter that you think best answers the questions. Number 1. Choose the word that best completes this analogy. Bed is to rest as car is to blank. So how do we understand this? Bed is used when we want to rest and car is used when blank. Letter A, machine. Letter B, travel. Letter C, rescue. Or letter D, automobile. Time is up. The answer is letter B. Hooray! This is travel. Bed is to rest as car is to travel. We use bed when we want to rest and we use car when we want to travel. This is an analogy. An analogy will be discussed specifically now. So when we say analogy, allow me to read it. Analogy is a type of composition made up of phrase, a sentence, a paragraph, or an entire article, which something like a thing, idea, activity, or action, and is explained by comparing it to something else like another thing, idea, or activity. So basically, an analogy consists of comparison. It could be a comparison of a word to a word to a phrase, a word to a clause, a phrase to a word, a phrase to a phrase, a phrase to a clause, and so on. It often takes the format that A is like B, where A is an unknown abstract concept, and B is something known, which is often something concrete. If we were to put it in an equation form, an analogy would be defined as, although analogies can be expressed in statements, sentences, they are always paraphrased. If you can paraphrase a statement as an equation, is an analogy. If you can paraphrase a statement as an equation, it is an analogy. Okay, there was an error. So it is an analogy. So this is the formula. Analogy is equal to something plus explanation by comparison to something else. Okay? By the way, sorry if sometimes I stutter or sometimes I tend to forget some words. This discussion is done impromptu. because I want it to sound so natural. I do not like a scripted discussion. I want you to feel that this virtual lesson is similar with the physical lesson you've had before in the past. So I hope it's okay with you. Okay, let us continue. The following are examples of analogies. Letter A, he is as strong as an ox. The analogy compares the man's strength, he, plus strong, comparing it to an animal, which is an ox. Okay? Because an ox is an animal known for its strength. So we are comparing the person in terms of strength. You get it? Love is a game. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. So now we are comparing love to a game. Why? Because both of them, we can experience losses or we can also experience wins. So that's how we compared it. A typical analogy looks like this. Okay, look at it. So there is the word finger, colon, hand, and then two colons, and then word again, colon, and then another word. So when we see the colon, it is read as is related to. Finger is related to hand. Toe is related to foot. What about when there are two colons? How do we read it? So a double colon stands for in the same way that. So we can read it finger is to hand in a same way that toe is to foot. So that's how we read them. Okay, this is the main meat, the main gist of our discussion. Here are the different types of analogies. So in today's lesson, I will try to discuss 18 of them. 18 of them. I hope we can easily understand them. So you have to listen and finish the entire video. Number 1 is synonyms. We have antonyms. We have part or whole, animal to habitat, action and object, source to product, cause and effect, characteristic, degree of intensity, performer and action, type and category, geography, measurement, numerical relationship, grammatical relationship, sequence, manner, and sign and symbol. Are you ready to discuss now? Okay. Let us now discuss the first one. So the first one is synonym. The first type of analogy is synonym. It is a relationship in which both words have similar meanings or a word having the same, nearly the same meaning as another. Let's have an example. 12 is to dozen. In the same way, 3 is to trio. So in here, we are comparing 12 and 3. And we use synonyms. When we say synonyms, these are words with the same meaning. So 12 has the same meaning with dozen. In the same way, 3 has the same meaning with trio. Get it? The second one, the second one is missing. It's antonym. So it's the opposite of synonym. Antonym is a word that has an opposite meaning with the other word. So we may say, fat is to thin. Fat is to thin. In the same way, tall is to, what's the opposite of tall? Very good, small. So that's the antonym. Next. Number 3, part and whole. A part of something is compared to the whole in a way similar to another part of something is compared to the whole. So we are now comparing part to part and then whole to the other whole. So when we say part whole, we have an example. Fin is to fish. In the same way, wing is to bird. So notice that we took apart fin. Fin is like, you know, that pointed shape we could see on the upper part of a fish. That is a fin. Sometimes they also have it on their sides. So we have a fin. And it is used by a fish. So fin is to fish. In the same way, wing is to blank. So since we use wing, which animal uses a wing? So it's a bird. So we use the word bird. You get it? So that's part is to whole. Okay. More examples later on in the activities. We will have some more. Number 4, animal and habitat. So the first word names an animal, and then the second word names the place where it lives. Example, spider is to web. In the same way, bird is to nest. So the first word must be an animal. So spider, bird. So when we say animal, it doesn't mean that it has to really be an animal. It could also be an insect. Okay? Don't get me wrong. So spider is to web. Where does a spider live? In its web. In the same way, bird is into, okay, nest. It's the fourth one. Then let's continue. Number 5. Action and object. So based on taking two sets of performers and their corresponding action. So we will first have the action and then the object. So let's have an example. Fire is to extinguish. In the same way, this one is wrong. Okay, action. It's not fire, so it's typo. The one who made the module maybe overlooked this one. It's okay, just don't mind it. So extinguish is to fire, flood is to dam. Okay, so action. We have two actions, extinguishing and flooding. You get it? So those are the two actions. And what are the objects related to them? So what do we extinguish? Extinguish. So it's fire. That's why we have fire extinguisher. Okay. And then we have, in the same way, flood is to dam. So how do we answer? How do we prevent flooding? So we can use a dam. Next, source to product. So we have the source first, and then the second word is product. Let's have an example. Well is to water. In the same way, beach is to sand. So well and water go together because a well is a source. Where water is. So where do we get the water? From a well. In the same way, beach is to sand. Beach and sand also go together. In the same way, because a beach is a source where sand is found. You get it? Next. Oh, this one is easy. Cause and effect. The first word is a cause, and then the second word is the effect. So, goal is to celebrate. In the same way, push is to move. So what is the cause? We have two causes here. We have goal and push. So what are the effects of having a goal and having a push? Having a motivation. So their effects are, goal is to celebrate. And then if you have the push, you can move. You get it? Cause and effect. Okay. Number 8, we're almost done with the half. Can you still cope with? I hope so. Just have to listen. In case you find it difficult to understand, anyway, this is recorded, so you can just repeat over and over and over again until such time that you can already understand it. Alright? Okay. By the way, I have two cameras. One in my laptop and then the other one in my phone. That's why sometimes you can notice my eyes are facing the laptop. Sometimes I'm facing the camera. Do not think that I am reading my script. I am not reading my script. Alright? Number 8, characteristic. The first word in these analogies names a person or thing. So the first word could be a person or a thing. And then the second one is its description or characteristic. Okay, don't get confused. A while back, synonyms. So word is to word. Now, it could be a name of a person or a name of a thing, and then its characteristic. Okay. For number 8, example is glutton is to greedy, philanthropist is to charitable. So if you are a glutton, it means you are greedy, you are matakaw. And if you are a philanthropist, meaning to say you are someone who helps a lot, who is generous, so you are charitable. So good characteristics. Number 9, degree of intensity. Two words are related because the second word is a greater or lesser amount than the first word. So there are two words. The first one, or the second one, could be a word that can be either greater or lesser than the first one. Let's have an example to better understand it. Cool is to freezing in the same way warm is to burning. So we have cool. What is greater than cool? Freezing. So this one is cool, but when there is a snow, it's already freezing. Right, let it go. Next, warm. What's greater than warm? Definitely, it's burning. That's true. Okay. Number 10, performer and action. Performer, action. The first word is a name of a person, he uses it, and then the second is a thing he uses or she uses. Example, or maybe an action that he does. Farmer is to farming, teacher is to... Very good! Number 11, type and category. Use pairs of words in which one word is a specific type in a general category. So two words, they are a pair. One word is a specific type, the other one is general type. So let's start first from a specific. Carrot is to, and then general. Vegetables, what is a carrot? It's a gulay, it's a vegetable. So carrot is to vegetables. And then hammer, what's a hammer? Correct, it's a tool, is to tools. So since we use plural form vegetables, the other one should also follow the same, so it must also be in its plural form, tools. Almost done. Number 12, geography. So when we say geography, where an object can be found. So there are two words. There's a place, and then where is that place found? Example, Zambales is to Iba, Bataan is to Balanga. Let me give you a simplified example. Sapang Maragul is to Karage. Balanti is to, in the same way, Balanti is to Centro. So we have two general places. So we have Sapang Maragul compared to Balanti. And then we have their sitios. Sapang Maragul is to Karage, and then Balanti is to Centro. That's one of its sitios. Okay. Number 13, measurement. This is math. I'll try my best to explain it, but it's difficult. A quantity that is to be measured, and it always involves a comparison with some known quantity of the same kind. Example, so two words. Barometer. So this is the quantity. Barometer is to pressure. So where do we use barometer? For pressure. Maybe if you know BP, blood pressure, maybe it's barometer. Correct me if I'm wrong, okay? Barometer is for pressure. And then in the same way, thermometer is to, where do we use thermometer? A thermometer is to temperature. Okay, that's easier. You get it? So measurement. Next, number 14, last 4. Numerical relationship, another number, is a mathematical analogy that tests the similarities of equality or proportions of a number. 11 is to 121, 13 is to 169. How did it happen? That's correct. So 11 was multiplied to 11 and we get 121. And then 13 times 13, we get 169. That's why. Correct. Number 15, grammatical relationship is a relationship in which both words are related by their grammatical type. Example, trial is to jury, dispute is to arbiter. Jury settles trial, so in trials, there are juries, and then in disputes, there are arbiters. Which both are, okay. Maybe, let me simplify it, grammatical relationship. Noun is to man. The word man is an example of noun. In the same way, verb is to jump. Jump is an example of a verb. So that is grammatical relationship. Number 16, last three. Sequence. Comparing objects, events, or actions according to their sequence. Monday is to Tuesday, January is to February. In the same way, January is to February. What comes after Monday? Tuesday. So what comes after January? February. Basic. Number 17, manner. Describes the manner, the way, or style by which an action is accomplished. How did you accomplish the action? So example, prattle is to speak, promenade is to walk. Okay. Prattle means speak. It's describing the manner, the way, the style. And then promenade is to walk. So when we say prattle, it's the casual way of speaking. And when we say promenade, it's the casual way of walking. Both casual ways. So we're talking about the manner. And lastly, at last, sign and symbol. So there are pairs of words in which one word is the symbol of the other. Example, caret is to insert, period, in the same way, period is to stop. We call this one caret. Let me pronounce it carefully. Caret. So when you see this sign, it means caret. So it tells you must insert something. There's a missing word. And in the same way, when you see a period, it means you have to stop. You get it? There you have it, our 18 types of analogies. In your modules, there are other examples that will help you understand the discussion. You can check on them. So you can read these particular examples. They can help you understand it. Until 18. Alright. Are you ready now for our tests?
Aye, aye, Captain!
In this part, I will just elaborate each directions so that you would know what to do. Let us now start the exercises. Let us have the first one. What I have learned. Activity number 1. So you have here the different types of analogy here, the ones I just discussed a while back. So you are to identify to which type does each number fall under. So number 1 was already done for you. It's already done for you. So sail is to ship. In the same way, ride is to horse. So it's action and object. Action and then object. Clear? And then the others, identify their types and categories. For activity number 2, sort me out. Below this activity, there are boxes where the different categories are enumerated. So you are to group the given examples here, the given items. Categorize them. The first one is made. Afraid, brave, kind, cruel. Afraid is the opposite of brave. Kind is the opposite of cruel. So this is an example of an antonyms or antonyms. You get it? So you have to sort out the other items. For number 3, so you have to pick from the box, from the words given in the box, which completes the analogy. Japan is to Tokyo. So Japan, the capital of, not capital, Tokyo is found in Japan. So UK is to London because London is found in UK. Another example, seismograph is to earthquakes. Sphygmomanometer is to blood pressure. So I was wrong a while ago. So when we measure blood pressure, it's sphygmomanometer. So this one is the best answer. Okay. Activity 4. From your type, we differ. So we will follow the given types here and then we will supply the needed word. Tired is to sleep. Hungry is to, maybe is to eat. If you are tired, you will sleep. So if you are hungry, you will eat. You get it? So you may continue answering the others. Number 5. So encircle the word that completes the analogy. Platoon is to soldier. The group of soldiers is what we call platoon. And team is to player. Okay? Another example. Spaghetti is to pasta. So spaghetti is synonymous to pasta. As ketchup is to, okay, identify it. Number 6. So we will encircle the word that completes the analogy. Hate is related to love, so it's the opposite. Hate is the opposite of love. In the same way, create is the opposite of destroy. Get it? Number 7. Okay. So you are to identify the word that completes the analogy. Number 1 is quite confusing, though it's correct. So there are 2 possible answers. So colony is to bird. A bird stays in a colony. And then aquarium is to fish. Fish stays in an aquarium. Others we also write aviary because it's also a cage. So either is accepted. 8. Write a pair of words that show a relationship within the pair of words in bold letters. So you are to complete again this one. So editor is the newspaper. Who writes in a newspaper? It's the editor. Author is to novel. Okay? Number 9. Gardening is to, what do you garden? Grass. Bat is to, okay, you have to complete it. Number 10. So you are to explain or mention what is common about the given analogies. Sunday, Monday, and Saturday, these are all name of weekdays. Okay? And number 11, so you will complete again. Man is to machine, master is to slave. The machine is made to work by a man, and slave is also under the instructions of his master. Okay? That's how they are related. So there you have it, our different types of analogies. I hope you have understood, excuse me, excuse me again, or you have learned something from my discussion. Hope to see you again next time. Please do not forget to follow me in my accounts, Instagram, Twitter, and my FB account. Again, thank you. Goodbye. Have a nice day.